welcome everyone to the summer series of Connectors Club. So happy to have our next set of individuals that I interview on networking and relationship building, and starting off this season with a very interesting person who I have never met in person, but I have talked to online and I've seen her speak. So Miranda VonFricken is our very first guest. So we'll see. Miranda describes herself as a LinkedIn strategist and life and business coach and a chief awesomeness officer. Did I say that right? Or
Perfect.
is that
Perfect.
aspirational? That's what we're already there. Is it on your cards yet, or on your LinkedIn profile, or you're getting there?
I'll get there.
Okay.
That's how I feel in my spirit. So that's what
Right.
I'm sticking with.
Good. No, that's great. So yeah, we talked a little bit before the interview here, and I had seen Miranda speak at a keynote speaker at an SA conference a couple of years ago, and then as a number of us have done these, when the whole world shut down and we had to still connect with each other, did these different versions of networking over the last year and a half or so. And Miranda's is LinkedIn Local, which I was able to join a few weeks ago. So I had the experience to see, they're all little, all of the ones that we've done are all a little bit different, which is great because there's some overlap, but we have our own style, and there's some people that contribute and go to different ones regularly, and you always get, whatever one you go to, you get a new mix of folks and a new mix of life experiences. So it's great to be able to meet people in that way, instead of maybe in addition to, now that we're coming out of this craziness. But I have just a few questions just about networking. Is this what this is about? Interviewing people that are those types of people that get that comment, oh, you must know everybody, because they're well connected either digitally or in real life. So just right out of the gate, what do you enjoy about networking? Is it a people thing? Is it a personal thing? Is it business? Is it both? What is it for you?
It fuels my soul. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to get real woo woo with you here for a second, Paul, but I love humans, right? Like I was put on this earth to just meet as many people as possible, to love on them, to celebrate them, to help elevate their voice, help them say yes to themselves, whether it's life, career, business. I don't try to go into any of my networking events, whether it's mine or somebody else's, with like, I need to get their business cards, or, I got to get them to buy this widget. It's all about like, whose energy can I just exchange with, and just, celebrate them and celebrate us meeting each other. And for me, it's 100% about just connecting with other people and learning about them and their life experience, and how we can just support each other throughout whatever journey we're on.
Right. Well, I guess if you're a life and business coach, then it would be tough if you didn't like people. That would be,
absolutely. It would be hard to be successful.
Yeah. I think the clients probably wouldn't be running towards you if that was
they feel it.
So since we obviously gone to this crazy COVID related situation where we're stuck inside and then forced to find other ways to stay connected and engage with people, whether they're folks that we knew before or meeting new people. So we all became Zoom experts, as I've said many times. We learned technology fast, but now that things started opening back up, and plus it's summer and everybody's anxious to get outside, how has that transition kind of worked out? Have you seen that happen on the networking side of things? How does that work for you?
So it's funny. At first, I was not a fan of the whole virtual world. I talk about exchanging energy. Like, it's hard to do that on a screen, right? Where you get like, here's your allotted space. Here's my allotted space. Stay in your box. I don't work well with boxes. I need to be free to be my crazy self and hug on people. So I had a hard time with it at first. But honestly, when you get the right people in a room, it's going to be a great experience anyway. And whether that room is our screen or in person, I started to like it, to be honest. I went from like not being a fan to being a huge fan. And I ran LinkedIn Local virtually every other week. We did like 45 events over a large span of our time in this pandemic. And then I took a break for summer so we can plan the big in-person event in September. And so as much as I do miss being at these virtual events and in-person events, I'm super pumped for the hybrid scenario, right? Like, I love to be with people in person, and I can't wait. I've been to a few little ones at Palette, little women groups or photo shoot type things where I've been around other people. But I'm really excited for the fact, once life kind of gets back to this new normal or whatever it is we're working towards, where there's a hybrid model where, once a month we do a virtual, and then every other month we do it in person, because it's really efficient. I'm not going to lie. Like, I mean, it's also comfortable. I'm wearing pajama bottoms. Y'all don't even know it. Like, like I love to be like 1 minute I'm doing my hair, the next minute I'm networking. And it's like I
Right.
went to an in-person event recently and I had to like get ready an hour before and I was like, I'm gonna be late. And it's like you forget like the little nuances that come with going to an in-person event and what am I
Right.
gonna wear and what am I eating, stuff like that. But here it's just like you hop on, you do your thing, and it's really efficient and effective. So I'm looking forward to the hybrid model, but I really can't wait to meet at some of the people that came to LinkedIn Local over the year that I've never met in person before. Like it's crazy to think you and I've never met in person,
Right. Right.
and high five. You could be 7 feet tall. I don't even know it. You know.
Well, yeah, that's we did a for the ones that I host, the hour, we did an in-person happy hour a few weeks
Nice.
ago, and my main comment, and others agreed out of that, was that Zoom is the great height equalizer, because
So true.
I mean, there's some people that I hadn't met and like, well, a lot taller than I expected or shorter or whatever it would be. But a lot of people I knew, and I just hadn't seen them in so long. But
Right.
I was actually watching others who I knew had only met those other people virtually, or digitally, whatever. So through Zoom, and they hadn't. So it was really cool scene to see. It was
Yeah.
almost like a reunion of sorts, but it kind of wasn't. It's a very unique experience actually. We've never really seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
But at least we have through us and others that have been doing these things have been able to have ways to stay connected to get us to this point. But it did take on a different life, and it's a different way to communicate with people.
Yeah.
And the other, and I've mentioned this in other interviews, is the dynamic is different, as you'll see when you get to your big event, that an in-person happy hour or any sort of conversation is usually pockets of people talking. But when we're
Yeah.
doing this, it's one person talking and a bunch of people listening, so you get a different thing out of it, and the convenience factor, of course, as well.
Yeah.
But the energy thing, you're absolutely right. I'm want to ask you what you can say, or what you are prepared to say, or ready or willing to, what is planned for the September event. What can you talk about for that?
Yeah.
How can you tease it out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's September 29th, 5 to 8 p.m. is what I have on the invitations. I will make a LinkedIn official invitation and start sending it out as soon as I solidify the sponsors. So right now we have 2 sponsors. I won't share that yet, but I will share that we always bring on a nonprofit sponsor as well. So they'll have a little talk time, be a part of the panel, and usually some fun things in between. And She's a Boss is our nonprofit sponsor this year. And I'm just super pumped to partner with Liska. She's a part of my 430 Club mastermind. So we've been doing a lot this year together, and I'm pumped to see her students come to the event, which is pretty cool. So that's the nonprofit side of things. Tickets have 2 different options for tickets. One is just like regular come in, eat, drink, have a great time, be a part of the panels. We'll have 2 separate panels, as well as a VIP option for you to come in and get a headshot too, which is kind of nice to update your LinkedIn profile, use it for business, whatever you need it for. A lot of people that I coach and that I work with will say like, I need to get headshots. I'm like, just come to LinkedIn Local, pay the 15 extra bucks and get some really cool shots taken. So I'm solidifying a photographer for that, which would be nice. But right now, like, I feel like the coolest part so far is that I have a comedian opening up the whole event.
Okay.
I mean,
Right.
kicking it up a notch.
Yep.
And she's on LinkedIn. People may know her. I don't know if I want to surprise it or make a post official about it yet. So I'm going to keep her name to
Yeah.
myself for a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah. Hold on to that.
But man, she is sassafras and I am so fun. I was like, y'all got, this is a corporate event ish, right? It's still like professional. So you
Right.
can't talk about certain things. And she's like, yes, I'll keep it clean. But I'm so pumped to humor opens us up, right? And humor is just like a huge part of what I do as a coach and strategist anyway, just a human in general. So we'll do happy hour type style food and drinks and mingling. We'll hug on everybody we haven't seen in a while. We'll have a show, the comedian open up the show, and then we'll go upstairs to Palette's private area and we'll do a few panels where we'll always learn tricks on LinkedIn, how to strategize and do better on the platform. And then we'll have another panel too that's pretty special. We'll announce that at some point too. But we've got about a little over 2 months before the event happens. So there's tickets on Eventbrite. Just go to LinkedIn Local Albany Live, and you'll find tickets there. And we'll start announcing the sponsors too. We've got a few locked in and have space for a few more. So if anyone's interested in sponsoring or at least getting some of that information for that opportunity, just let me know. I'll be happy to send some info.
Yeah. Well, it's something just to even talk about something that has those layers and that complexity and that that much going on in an event
Yeah.
because we're so used to these quick, let's say quick hour or whatever, but
Yeah.
these sessions where you talk and then there might be something going on, but there isn't comedian and sponsors and headshot
Yeah.
opportunity and networking and eating and actually seeing people in person. It's a lot to take in, but
Yeah.
that's the plan. Actually, it's not
It's
just.
gonna be a party. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah,
It's a party.
that's awesome.
It's all the 2 birthdays I didn't get to celebrate over COVID. It's all the networking events we
Right.
missed. It's all the anniversaries people missed. Like, bring your
Yeah.
party hats. It's gonna be great.
So, good segue into this other question I want to ask, and that is, and it's kind of twofold. So because we talked about the 2 different ways that we're able to connect and network and so on,
Yeah.
and we're doing our virtual experiences, but then going into this live version. So for somebody that you coach, maybe you come across this too, the people that are introverted or they're not, maybe they're confident, but they're only confident if they know certain people, and then they kind of they shy away from anything where they might have to step up, or they might be nervous or get embarrassed about what I'm not sure I'm going to say the right thing, and they're all going to laugh at you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what, any types of tips or advice that you give people that are saying, how do you do it? Or what's the best way to approach any of these sort of networking or mingling opportunities?
Yeah. So what I loved, and it's funny, you mentioned Zoom being like the height equalizer. I do a different presentation about networking internally and externally for different corporations. And one of the things I talk about the difference between virtual and in person is the virtual world does level the playing field for the extroverts and the introverts. It's hard I'm an extrovert, let's be honest,
I
but
was sure of that. So
you're like, oh, I didn't think that. I'm not going to chime in and speak over 40 people, 40 squares, and take over this room. I think it calms me down, the extrovert, and it levels up it's not really an up, but it brings their energy up a little bit to feel comfortable in this scenario of the virtual world where everybody gets their time to speak, whether they do breakout rooms or where in my calls, I would call out squares and be like, all right, your turn, your turn, your turn. And everybody gets a chance to speak, especially if it's a decent sized group, like, 20 or less, 30 or less. Everybody can speak in a full hour if they respect each other's time.
right.
And the virtual events give you that breakout room, and then it becomes a lot more comfortable in the smaller group where it's like, all right, tell me about you. And, I think these days it's just, they're getting more used to it. Both of our personality styles are getting used to, the virtual world. So I'm hoping that they take that confidence that maybe people have built in the virtual world and take it in person. I do fear a little bit that the opposite happens. They step into person and they're more insecure or uncomfortable in an in-person situation because they were so comfortable virtually. So what I've been suggesting to people, and I'll do a few videos of this before LinkedIn Local in person, is just to come with a buddy. First of all, if you feel way more comfortable, come with a friend, right? And if you do, you always recognize somebody. And I joke about the 5 different networkers in person. There's like the food guy where you're going to find him at the food table. You're going to make friends at the coffee
Right.
station. There's somebody standing there always who feels just as uncomfortable as you do. So go find him or her and chat it up. There's the people, the card guy who's like, hey, here's my card, who's popping in and out. There's obviously other more extroverted people who are just like hopping all over the place and talking with everybody. But you're going to find smaller groups like looking around who feel just like you do. So my suggestion would be, if you need to come with someone or plan to meet someone there. Or if you're coming on your own, walk in, grab a beverage, and just start talking to the first person next to you. We're all there with a common goal, the same, intention. It's just to meet new people, right? Nobody's going to go there and be mean girl or catty or weird. There's not a lot of cliques, I think, in this professional scene. I mean, there are, don't get me wrong, but there's not a lot. And if you walk into a group and just say hi and they all just stare at you, say bye. Peace. Turn around and come find me. I'll talk to you.
Yeah. It's like a mean girl scenario. Like
Yeah, I mean, even I sometimes get uncomfortable because there's always that one person that walks in the room and all the heads turn. Usually it's like this really tall, gorgeous brunette, and you're like, hello, she's here. And you're like, who's she? Oh my gosh, she's in like this gorgeous suit or something. It just seems like really intimidating. I've made it my mission to be friends with those people because when you get to know them, they're just normal people just like you and I, so they want to say hello to you. And I've made some of them my clients and my friends. And I gotta say, like, sometimes just biting the bullet and doing something that stretches you and feels a little uncomfortable returns so many rewards.
Right. Yeah. I haven't seen this in a while. You're reminding me when you said the 5 types of people. You're making me think about what she's going to mention. And one of them, and this isn't,
You're like, which one am I?
well, no, well, it wasn't, yeah, I think I'm probably the guy at the bar, but it's the one with the, one of these, I don't know if this is a person. I think it's just something, it's a crutch that I think we all lean
Yeah.
to, is that phone person, because when you're
Oh, the phone
alone,
guy. Yeah.
when you're alone, you like, we can't stand there and look
Yeah.
around. We have to be doing something, or we're whatever, shunned or loser, or we're just, like not
Oh.
or whatever. So you're just, that's the gut, or the the knee-jerk reaction is just to grab the phone and look. And then then well, and I've done it too. I think we've all done it. And then you realize, what am I doing this for? Because I'm here, and, and those moments when you could have made eye contact or joined a conversation. My one of my moves is always, I usually know people there, so I will saddle up to somebody who I know, who's inevitably with people I don't know, and that's how I meet the most people. It's the easiest way. Or the wingman or the buddy system, as you mentioned. That's a good one. I've done that. Actually done that much, but it definitely works, because as you go through, you each know different people, so that's how you meet new folks. But now it's not just meeting new people either; it's also reconnecting, re-engaging, and that kind of that type of person I mentioned before, that through Zoom, but you don't know in person, and you may not even recognize them, because you're used to this.
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually brought my 6 a.m. mastermind club, a bunch of women. I brought us to a local comedy show to see the woman who's going to open for LinkedIn Local, to see her in action. And the people, and these are clients I've had for over a year now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so much taller than I thought. And she's like, one woman's like, yeah, I'm pretty tall, and she's like, you're kind of short. And I'm like, I'm in 4-inch heels. Like, you think I'm short now? Like, people are always like, oh, you were way shorter than I thought. And I'm like, maybe it's just the big personality makes me look or feel larger,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it is funny. I'm like, you have legs. Oh my gosh. Like,
right.
It's crazy, like, and it's just great. Once the initial humor of seeing these people again, or like the coolness of it, is over, then you can really just dive in, and it's like you're with family again, because you really, I feel like I dig deeper into getting to know people on these Zoom calls versus in person. I feel like in person, it's kind of surface. It's, oh, what do you do? And what are you doing here? And are you excited to see the speaker? Blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of like surface conversation.
Yeah.
Where in Zooms, you have 30 minutes, just the two of you on these coffee chats, sometimes 15, or even in a large group setting. And it's like, how are you? Like, tell me about, and you're like, oh, this is happening, and this one. And like, you, all of a sudden, it's like a therapy session. So I'm going to miss that part of it, which is why I'm excited for hybrid. So you can meet new people in person, take it to the virtual, deeper conversation.
It does get distracting in person too, because there's all this stuff going on around you. And then with this, you are kind of looking what's in front of you, which gets you that greater focus. So the other question I was going to ask you kind of answered it to a degree, and that's where we see this going, and what you're looking forward to in hybrid. I originally thought that there might be some way to do a hybrid mix of hybrid and in person, but I don't know functionally how that could work, because you're just like what I just mentioned. I think is going to come into play. The distractions are going to keep you from being able to, those few people that are on the screen, and they're going to be left out, because they won't have everything around. So I'm not sure how that'll work, but I think and I see that it looks like Miriam and Lauren with the 518 networking, they've 518 Business Connect, they've done that every other one type of thing. I'm doing that, and you're going to be doing that too. So that seems to make sense, because with that way, well, we still cater to the different personality types or the comfort levels, and then you also get kind of the best of both worlds kind of thing, based on a few factors. One, inevitably weather. What are we going to be doing in January? I don't know if we're going to be doing any deck parties, but
probably not.
or if we look sunny out now, but that's just for a brief little window until it starts again. But
my backyard, though, you step out into it, you're gonna fall into like a rain puddle.
I think that's a lot of people's sump pumps and pleasure nonstop now. But no, but that's awesome. Thanks for the time. This was real fun and good to talk with you directly for a little while. But we will see each other in person.
We will.
And at your event, or one of the ones that I'm doing. So we'll get we'll put whenever you're ready, we'll put the link out, either on this post, or I'll help share it for the September. And we'll see each other again soon. And thanks again for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me.